We also want to tell you that according to the CDC, of course, breast cancer, the most common form of cancer in women in the U.S. Getting diagnosed, we've had, lots of people, friends, family members, that kind of thing, who have been diagnosed and have had to really go through that frightening experience.
WFMY News 2's Lauren Coleman spoke with a triad breast cancer survivor who turned her fear into purpose by helping other women get through it.
Dara Kurtz of Winston-Salem says she thought she had it all: a great job as a financial advisor and a loving family. Then in March of 2014, a visit to the doctor turned her world upside down.
I was 42 when I heard the words, "You have cancer," and for me it came out of nowhere. One day I was fine and living my life, and the next day I was literally hearing words like chemotherapy, surgery, radiation.
Doctors found a lump that catapulted Kurtz into a battle with stage 2 breast cancer.
I lost my mom to cancer when my daughter was my oldest daughter was just a couple weeks old. And so it was really, kind of reliving some of that. And I was so afraid that my daughters wouldn't have me, that I wouldn't be here to raise them.
After a fight that included a double mastectomy and chemotherapy, Kurtz was considered cancer-free. This is when she says her real life began.
After I went through everything, I quit my job as a financial advisor and started my blog, Crazy Perfect Life. I started doing a lot of speaking, and my first book, Crush Cancer, came out. Then my second book, I Am My Mother's Daughter, Wisdom on Life, Loss, and Love, came out.
The financial advisor turned author even started a business that helps cancer patients like her survive and thrive after a cancer diagnosis. She says she attributes much of her success to the treatment and support provided by her medical oncologist.
We have means of prevention, and if you are diagnosed, our treatments are much, much better than they had been 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Hearing the words "you have cancer" doesn't have to be a death sentence. You can go through a challenging cancer experience and you can get to the other side.
So Kurtz's oncologist emphasizes the importance of yearly mammograms and self-examinations. And so, the walk and the run is just one of the many ways that we are able to raise awareness.
And I think we say it all the time, but it's so much more prevalent than you realize. And every time you hear the stat, I think everybody still is kind of shocked that it is really out there. That's a lot. There's a lot of it.
And you so appreciate people who share their stories like this wonderful woman did. It gives you encouragement and lets you know there is a light at the end of the tunnel through all of this.
I think the other thing that sticks out to me too is that while people are going through the cancer treatment, everybody thinks that that's like the worst part, and it is an awful part, but then that stuff lingers, right? You talk to those who have survived cancer and they're still dealing with certain things. They're still dealing either with neuropathy in their hands or their feet, or they're not able to eat certain things, or they can't, their fatigue still lasts. And you're like, just because, they're done with the chemotherapy and they're in remission doesn't mean that it's all done.
And then there's the total change in life perspective.
Oh, sure.
That's huge. And it affects everybody around you, all your loved ones. I mean, same thing.